At ease, brothers. I want to say something, man. All of us were made in the image and likeness of the Creator. This is in the Bible. We've heard this our whole lives. All of us are made in the image and likeness of the Creator. I don't care what side of the planet you're on. I don't care what shade of skin. I don't care what religion you follow. All of us were made in the likeness and the image of the Creator, but very few men walk in it. Very few men are walking in it, brothers. First off, man, let me give y'all a shout out, man. I don't think I've made a video since Father's Day, man. So let me tell y'all brothers, happy Father's Day, man. And even to y'all brothers that don't have kids, happy Father's Day. Because somewhere, some niece, some nephew, some young man down the street is watching you, man, and you're an example to somebody, man. So happy Father's Day. Let me give a special Father's Day shout out, man, to my stepfather, retired First Sergeant George Burnett, out in East Texas, man. This guy is always watching all my content. Him and my mom watch all my content, and he's always just giving me life game, bro. Every time I see him, just life game. He's a whole hack to me, man. So special shout out to him. But again, man, all of us are made in the image, but very few of us walk in it, man. And what I mean is this. Well, let me say this. There have always been quotes in my life, man, that come at a particular time and just shift my whole paradigm. Like I always talk about James Allen's work. Man does not attract what he wants. Man attracts what he is. But that just stopped time for me. That was just a huge building block to build Soul 2.0, Soul 3.0. And I've had a number of quotes, man, that struck me like that over time. You know, a small handful, right? But one that changed my outlook on life pertaining to what I'm talking about now, a man, you know, being made in the image but not walking in it. I got to give credit to brother Charles Haanel's work in the Masterclass system. And Charles Haanel, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, Charles Haanel said, you know, in order for a man to come out of that stagnant energy and start walking in his true purpose, really start knowing who he is, right? Haanel said this. Haanel said a man must have knowledge of his power first. Second, he must have the courage to dare. And third, he must have the faith to do. I'm gonna tell you, man, when I was reading that book, I had to put that book down for a second, man, and process that. Because a lot of people understand, again, that they're made in the image, but very few people are walking in it. And to walk in it means you have to live in that thing. You have to express in that power. Haanel said when a man has knowledge of his power, the courage to dare, the faith to do, everything changes, man. And I'm telling you right now, man, very few men are walking in that. Men have an idea of what the Creator is and the power of the Creator, but for some reason, they're still putting this entity outside of themselves and are scared to navigate life in it. Knowledge of power, courage to dare, faith to do, man, changes everything, bro. I had this, y'all know I'm a country boy, man, born and raised in East Texas, man, and I've always loved like off-roading and big trucks and all this kind of stuff, man. That was just my thing, right? I had this one of the many trucks I've had, man. I bought this I had this Dodge truck some years ago, man. Dodge Ram, you know, mega cab, you know, clean, man. And pretty much as soon as I got it off the lot, brothers, took it home, man, and it seemed like no time at all, man. I jacked that thing up. 6-inch lift kit, mud tires. You know, the suspension was on tight. That thing would have climbed the mountain, bro. It was on point. But I'll say for the whole first year, maybe 2 years I had that thing, man, I drove that thing around like a Prius. Of course I kept it clean, just proud of keeping it clean. But I wouldn't let that thing do no more than jump a curb, man. I just treated it like a small sedan, right? But then when I changed positions in the oil field and I was no longer driving a company truck, I got a little rank in the oil field and got a better position where they paid me to drive my own vehicle out there, man. I can remember going out into the oil field, and anybody in the oil field, man, when you go to location, brother, it's rough. You talking about mud, you talking about sand, you talking about when it rains, you talking about when it snows. It's just a goulash out there, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I can remember the first time I went to location, or the first few times I went to location, man, and it was some bad terrain out there, bro. I was pretty much just tiptoeing around location, like, man, I don't want, I'm trying to keep this thing afloat, man. And I can remember one of my brothers pulled me to the side, man. He was like, what are you doing, bro? Like, why are you driving that big ass truck like that? And it takes me back to what Haanel was saying, man. He said for a man to really walk in his authority, he must have knowledge of his power. And when I think about that whole scenario, man, I was like, man, I sit here and put thousands of dollars into this rough and this rugged vehicle, but I'm still not understanding what it's capable of. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, man, a lot of us as men are tiptoeing through life like that. We don't understand the knowledge of our power. And when I say understand the knowledge of our power, man, we still wake up every single day and just wait on the world to happen to us instead of understanding that, bro, we run this, like we run our own worlds. Like I always said, man, and I said this in a singular truth. If you haven't gotten a singular truth, you behind the power curve. I said this in a singular truth, man. I said a man's thoughts, a man's behaviors, and a man's actions is what created the turmoil in his life. But that same formula is what will rescue him out. So knowledge of your power, man, is understanding that this world is governed by law. Understanding that this world is governed by your thoughts, your behaviors, and your actions. So to roam this world in fear, or to roam this world tiptoeing because you don't want to get stuck in the mud, it's simply a lack of knowledge of your power, man. You simply have to understand not only who you are, but what you're capable of, man. You have to understand that everything that's happening in your world, man, is because you put it in place. You put it in place. Understanding that changes everything, bro. Changes everything. It makes a man straight take ownership of his life. It makes a man wake up in the morning like a mad scientist saying, what can I create today? What can I create this year? What can I create, before I die? Knowledge of your power, man, changes your whole existence, man. So, brothers, we have to incorporate knowledge of our power. And I can remember, man, when brother reminded me, man, you like, man, you got this big truck, man, like you can go clean through this stuff. I started contemplating. I said, man, you know what? You're right. You know what I'm saying? And again, I just gained that knowledge of power, gained that knowledge of what I was capable of. Brothers, you have to gain that knowledge. Second thing Haanel said was a man has to have the courage to dare. Haanel said these things are vital. That's one thing he said in the book. He said these three things are vital. He said a man must have the courage to dare. And again, going back to the scenario, man, me sitting here in this oil patch, muddy, oily, sandy, rainy, everybody getting stuck. I had to say, you know what? Instead of looking for the high road and going a whole quarter mile around location to get to where I'm going, I believe I can go straight through there. I done put some 35-inch mud grippers on her. I believe I can go straight through there. I just had the courage to dare, man. I had to have the courage to do it, bro. The courage to dare, man. And when I think about the courage to dare, man, when it relates to us as men, it's really having the courage to think. It's really having the courage to think outside of the box. Because that sounds simple, man, but it's a lot scarier than you think. When I say courage to think, man, meaning for a man to just pause, for a man to just take 5 minutes out of his life and look around and say, you know what, this is the life I've created. And if he's honest with himself, he can say, you know what, the life I've created is simply based on the information I've known. Like I've been creating with the ego side of myself the whole time. In other words, what daddy and them taught me, what mama and them taught me, what teacher taught me, what I saw my partners do. Like I've never dared to think outside of what I've seen. I've never dared to leave that ego mind and go to that universal mind and just think with no cap. I've never dared myself to go to that place. I'm gonna tell you this, man. It's a lot harder to do that than you think. To sit still and just let your mind dare to go to a place that you've never been. Dare to live places on the planet or visit places on the planet you've never been. Dare yourself to entertain certain caliber of people. Dare yourself to do certain type of work, to get certain type of degrees. Dare yourself to be a servant to this planet. A lot of people's mind won't even allow them to go there, bro. Trust me, think about it. Take 5 minutes a day, man, and just allow yourself to be in mental position to experience something else. Just allow it. You want to get out that small apartment, man. You want to get in 5,000 square feet. You want to get in that fast car. You want to climb the pyramids. Sit still and allow your imagination to go there. Most people won't do it, bro. Oh, you will see it on the gram. You'll see it on the tube in the book and see everybody, and you'll be like, oh man, you'll live vicariously through everybody else, but you won't dare allow yourself to go in your mind and put yourself in that position. Sounds simple, but it's not, brothers. Haanel said a man must have the courage to dare. Going back to the oil field, man. I had to dare myself to challenge my power. And that's what you have to do, man. You have to dare yourself to challenge your power. It's like, man, you know what? Okay, this is where my money has been this whole time. Let me see if in the next few days, weeks, months, or year, let me see if I can add another 25, 50% to that. Like if I'm made in the image of the all, if I can do all things, that should be child's play. If I have knowledge of my power and the courage to even think it, let my mind go there is all I'm saying, right, brothers? Let your mind go to those places, man. Release that old world of your mind. Release all those old tensions. Of course, take the nuggets from it, but dare yourself to think bigger, bro. Will change everything, man. And there's no cap to that. Once you think bigger and achieve bigger, then there's always bigger to think, right? So the courage to dare. But this is the meat and potatoes, brothers. Haanel said this. Haanel said, even once you have those pieces of information and you've implemented them, in other words, a man has knowledge of his power. A man has the courage to even dare. Haanel said then it comes down to one thing. A man must have faith to do it. A man must have faith to do it, man. And I'm saying that laughing because that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where if you have 100 men that are rolling with you, that's the point right there where 95 of them gonna fall back. When it comes to doing it, sitting there beating our chest saying, oh yeah, we are gods. We're made in the image. Oh yeah, having the ability to say, you know what? Yeah, man, one day I'm going to accomplish X, Y, Z. Yeah, I'm going to do it. But when it comes to that third one, the faith to do, brother, you finna hear crickets. It's finna be you and 2 or 3 of your comrades that got the gonads to do that. The faith to do, because brother, what that means is you have to abandon everything behind you. You have to abandon. You have to release the anchors, man. Going back to the oil field, when I decided to say, you know what, let me take this truck and just plow down through there. I had to say to myself, there's a good chance this thing gonna get stuck out there in the middle of nowhere. There's a good thing I'm gonna damage this high dollar piece of equipment I built. There's a chance I might submerge my engine underwater. There's a chance that all things can go wrong. Like, it's much easier, if I'm honest with myself, it's much easier for me to just sit back and take the old routes that I've always taken. You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, I know what I'm capable of. I got the power to think and dare. But to do it, but you talking about so many different risks involved now, man. You talking about a man having to walk on water now and trust only source now, bro. And I understand now, out of 47 years living on this planet, bro, I understand now that one of the deciding factors on a man moving forward and walking in his I am is the faith to do. Is the faith of saying, you know what? I'm willing to look crazy. Like for what I believe in, I'm willing to roll the dice and put everything on 7. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to put it all on the line because that's what it takes, bro. That's what it takes. When you're talking about the faith to do, man, there is no 1 foot in, 1 foot out. There is no testing the waters. It's 10 toes down or it's nothing. And most men are scared to go 10 toes down. Most men are scared to do that, bro. And I'm saying that as I've recognized times in my life where I've been scared to do that. To go 10 toes down. There was a Instagram post that I reposted. This might have been 2 weeks ago now, man. And somebody said, if you want, and I can't remember exactly what it said, but it said, if you want to know what it means to trust God, man, or something like that, it said, become an entrepreneur. And when I read that, man, I started reading those comments, bro, and I said, man, they ain't never lied, bro. When a person puts themselves in position to have to trust nothing but source, like, you know what, like I'm doing something I've never done before. I'm traveling a road I've never done before. I'm taking this vehicle through a path that I once feared. But now that I have knowledge of my power and the courage to dare, I'm going that route now. Brother, you have to stand on that thing you've been talking about all this time. You got to stand on it, man. So again, everybody is made in the image. And I know some people take that and say, oh, well, some people are special, some people are not special. Everybody was made in the image. Right? I don't care what your color, your creed. Everybody was made in the image, man. But very few people are walking in it. I challenge y'all brothers to walk in it, man. I challenge y'all brothers to simply live life. You aren't living life until you do that. Like when you wake up every day, man, and you're feeling confused and you're feeling discombobulated and life is not doing what it's doing and you're not fulfilled. That's the reason. That's the reason right there. It's because you're failing to walk in the image.